Today, we will take your Blender rigging skills to the next level. So, sit down, grab some popcorn, and learn how shape keys can transform your character from an emotional mess to emotional intelligent, how drivers can be used to make your character more realistic in terms of movement, and how a secret technique can be used to take your rigging skills to the pro level. And maybe finally make your parents proud of you. So without further ado, this is the pro level of rigging. A realistic character uses a lot of these facial expressions, and it's changes between all these expressions that add this layer of realism we like to see in animations. And let's just be honest, it removes that robotic mouth movement, kind of how like a puppet moves with the mouth. It doesn't look realistic. To make an expression, we need to select the mesh and navigate to data properties. Here we can add a shape key, but the first shape key we add is just called basic. That is just our standard face shape. So by adding one more, we can call it an angry expression. Now select our angry shape key and turn it from 0 to 1. Now you can sculpt the face into an angry face shape. A quick note here. Multiple shape keys can be turned on at the same time, but if you do that, you need to make sure that they affect different areas of the face, like one for the eyebrows, another for the mouth, and a last one for the cheeks. Because if you have multiple shape keys affecting the same area, they will clash, and that will make your character look demented, so I don't think you want that in your animation. Ugh, yikes. But if you really want to feel like a pro with shape keys, you can make 3 to 5 different for each area and constantly change between them. That is the thing that gives this organic movement you see in professional animations. It's a more difficult thing, but it really adds extra layers in your animation. But shape keys are not only static values, they can be automated with something called drivers. And yeah, I'm not talking about a golf driver. But it was also my first thought when I learned about it, so I do not blame you in the slightest. See, a driver is just a math equation, but you can combine it with both a shape key and a bone in your rig to automate it so when the bone moves, the value on a specific shape key changes. And that thing unlocks a whole new world of realism. Let's take an example. In terms of rig here, we want his cheeks to compress slightly in when his mouth is opening. Because you can see the puppet mouth. Nope, unacceptable. So let's go into pose mode, open his mouth up and add a shape key. Let's call it mouth open. Oh, and remember to set the value to 1. Then go into sculpt mode, compress the cheeks a little bit, draw down the chin to make it look more realistic as an open mouth. When you like the result, you can quickly change the value to check that the shape key is working as intended. It sometimes doesn't work, so that's a good rule of thumb. Remember to check it works. Then you can just navigate to the shape key, right click on it and select add a driver. Now you get this driver property. The first thing you should do is go into scripted expression and change it to average sum. Now you need to select an object. This is where we select our bone. So go down and select the armature and then select the specific mouth bone. Then we actually need to look at what axis the mouth bone is going to be rotating at. So when you know which one it is, you choose that corresponding axis. You can see here in my case, it's the x-axis. And the last thing, set the space to local space instead of world. I personally find it more helpful. And as we can see now, it automatically, in a very smooth way, changes between the shape keys. We can see the cheeks compressing in, the chin is going down, and it looks way more realistic. You can also see now we can't change the value manually because it's purple and now connected to a driver. So it's only the bone now that's going to change that shape key value. Kinda nice, right? But if the result now is not the outcome you had in mind, you can go into the graph editor for the driver. And then I find it useful to go into modifiers and add a generator modifier. Here you can crank up or slow down the values. So if we crank it up to 2 instead of 1, we can see that the bone finishes the shape key transformation much quicker than previously. So yeah, this is the beauty of drivers, the automated solution. So with drivers out of the way, what is this secret technique? Is it really so much better than shape keys and drivers? Well, it's actually a combination of both called sliders. You make a separate bone that controls multiple different shape keys for the same expression. So, a happy bone that controls happy eyebrows, mouth, ears, chin, forehead, and of course eyes. And here's the secret. You can make multiple different of them so you have one for each expression. Here's an example. You want your character to react to freaking good news. Hold the happy bone. And if somebody just stole your lunchbox, hold that angry bone. That's a warning. Do not do that to Rick. He will annihilate you. But overall, it is a very powerful technique if you want an expression between happy and sad. You can just slide the bones until you have found the expression you want. So with shape keys, drivers and sliders under your tool belt, you're close to become a real pro at rigging.